major leadership appointment at Rutgers School of Nursing, Dr. Leorey N. Saligan has been named the school's inaugural Vice Dean of Research after nearly 2 decades as a senior investigator at the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Saligan's work centered on understanding cancer-related fatigue. Now he'll help shape research priorities and expand collaborations. We say good morning and congratulations. Welcome to the new position, Dr. Saligan.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me, Ken. So it's
It
great to
is
be
great
here.
to have you on. And this is exciting because I know, and I think many of us know, people who've had cancer, people who've been treated with
Yeah.
chemo, and how exhausting it is because it's an entire effort, right? You have reduced blood cells, especially if you have cancer, chemo, because many of your own blood cells, the good ones, die along with the healthy one, with the
Mhm.
sick ones. And then you're just exhausted from your body fighting the disease all the time. So you spent years at the NIH. What excited you most about making this transition to Rutgers?
Yeah, it's really, building your network, your infrastructure of collaborators across, and more importantly, which is the heart of really my role as a scientist and in this role, is really mentorship, helping early career investigators really focus on moving forward and expanding and improving their science, the rigor of their science, and more importantly, help patients. That's basically the intent, is having that infrastructure to promote science.
And this is the first time the School of Nursing has had a vice dean of research, right? So what is that involved and why did they decide to do that now?
Well, it is an important piece because, especially in Rutgers, there's in the School of Nursing, there's just so much exciting research that's going on, and the interest, not just in not just in cancers and supportive care, but also in health access, in capacity of the profession, nursing profession, but also its impact on communities across New Jersey and around the country and even globally. So we have so many programs that really needs and provides this kind of leadership in research that would help connect and improve their impact on our communities.
So you're a PhD and an RN. You're a doctor of nursing, right, as well. So which is so you teach nurses, you create nurses, which is amazing, and God bless you for it. And I know there's always a need for nurses, one of the greatest careers on the planet ever, and nurses work very, very hard. And you focused, as we mentioned at the top, on cancer-related fatigue.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how that impacts so many people and how your research is helping to change that.
Well, it stemmed from, of course, my personal experience having both parents died from cancer, and going through those intensive treatment. It's just I felt so helpless. Being a nurse, you always want to help. You always are there to care, but in my role, although fatigue is a global experience, talking about Thursday or later this afternoon, we get so tired, but it's totally different than just being tired. And this is mostly felt and impactful in patients of course, receiving cancer treatment, or those even who have survived cancer, but also to others who have chronic illnesses. Fatigue is so exhausting that what really drives me in my research is that when patients talk to me, they feel like my tank is empty. I really wanted to understand that from a biological perspective, from a researcher. What do you mean by your tank is empty? So I really
Mhm.
dig deeper into what are the biology behind this experience. And so I've looked into the role of mitochondria, but also its association with other symptoms of depression has been really linked closely to to fatigue, as well as the motivation, but also its impact on having cognitive impairment and all the other symptoms that are associated with it. So I've looked over time, and I've seen clinical recommendations of fatigue has always been, you need to exercise, but not everyone can exercise, and that takes a really commitment and long term uh, 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 goal of really doing those exercise. What I've seen is there are specific proteins in our body that can, if you inhibit, you can really see rapid changes in fatigue symptoms. You get this burst of energy, and that's where my clinic at the NIH and now here at Rutgers is looking at the use of low dose ketamine in
Mhm.
improving, providing rapid energy for those with chronic fatigue, especially those who are the cancer survivors and those with chronic illnesses. And so I'm really excited in that program, and I think it will provide a lot of support for our cancer survivors and a lot of patients are suffering with this chronic fatigue.
Mhm. Well, I'm wondering, will as we start the shift, and we have been doing it now for over a decade, the shift toward immunotherapy versus
Hmm.
chemo. If I
Hmm.
know that when you first get immunotherapy, that's wiping of your energy too, right? Because you're
Right.
getting your body's cells now to. It's like having the flu, right? That's the way it was described
Yeah.
to me by somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're getting your body's cells to kill the cancer cells. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping that eventually, I mean, I'm sure you are too. That's what you do, that we just have a time in history where we could look back and say, remember when everybody suffered from cancer? Let's pray
Yeah.
that that day comes sooner than later. It is so good that you are at Rutgers. We're very lucky to have you there, Doctor. God bless you. May you have much success with your career at Rutgers and train many good people in the field.
Thank-
I know there's a website people can go to. I believe it's nursing.rutgers.edu if they want more
That's correct.
information. And
Yes.
we want you back on to talk more about it.
Right. Thank you so much for having me, Ken.
You bet. That's Dr. Leo N. Saligan, the new Vice Dean of Research at Rutgers School of Nursing. Thank you again for coming on.